Let's close the skin file and the web config file. We're going to go ahead and take advantage of object binding in ASP.NET so that we can make our AJAX application data aware. Right-click on the project and select Add New Item. In this case, we're going to add a web form. Change the name to Product Catalog. Press Add. This takes us into the ASPX page. Let's do a couple things here. Let's set the title to be Product Catalog. Then go to Design Mode. For the document in the Properties window, let's go ahead and set the theme. Select the theme property and choose Soothing. This will apply the ASP.NET theme to the page. The next thing we need to do is add a dataset to store the data. Right-click on your project and select Add New Item. Select Dataset. Let's give it a name, and we'll call it Products. In this example, we're going to be connecting to the AdventureWorks sample database. We'll connect to the Products table and then filter it using categories. So what we'll do is add a Products dataset to represent our schema. Press the Add button. Visual Studio will prompt you and ask you whether you want to save the dataset into the app code directory. By storing our dataset in the app code directory, we can guarantee that the raw source code for the dataset will be safely protected when the solution is finally deployed. It's a good idea to store all raw code and resources in the app code directory. Press Yes. This will launch the table adapter wizard. We had pre-configured a connection to the AdventureWorks database. Press Next. Press Next again. We're going to use SQL statements, so press Next. We'll use the Query Builder to add the product, product category, and product subcategory tables. Press the Query Builder button and select the Products table. Click Add. Select the Products category table. Press Add. And lastly, the Product subcategory table and press Add. Close the Add Table dialog. Now that we have our tables added, we need to select columns. In the Product table, select Product ID, Name, Color, and List Price. For the Product category table, select Name. In the SQL statement, instead of using expression 1 as the alias, give it a proper name. Let's call it Category Name. We'll do the same with the subcategory table. Select the name, and for the expression, we'll type in subcategory name. Click OK. Because our control will receive data from another control via user interaction, we'll need to add a where clause. We're going to say where product subcategory ID equals a parameter that we pass in. Let's go ahead and grab the product subcategory ID, copy that into memory, and at the end of your statement, type in where, paste in your product subcategory ID equals at subcategory ID. Now close the parentheses. Select Next. We don't need a fill, so uncheck that. And then for the Get Data, let's rename that to something more meaningful. Get Products by Subcategory ID. Select Next and press Finish. We can preview our data by right-clicking on it and selecting Preview Data. It prompts us for a parameter. Let's type in 21. Press the Preview button. As you can see, we only get the subcategory jerseys for the products in our database. Press Close. Now let's add another method to the table adapter. This method that we add, getColorForProduct, we'll be using later as a web service. Right-click, say Add Query. Again, use SQL statements. Press Next again. In this case, we're going to simplify the default query. We only want to return a single value, product color. So let's delete all the other fields besides product color from our select statement. We'll also need to modify the where clause to accept a product ID. By passing in the product ID, we'll return the product color. And then we'll change the parameter name to something more meaningful. Press the Next button. In this case, we're getting a scalar value, meaning a single value, so we'll get rid of the get. Let's rename this to Fill Color for Product. Select Next. When you click Finish, you'll get a warning that indicates that the schema varies. That's okay, we're only returning a single value. Press OK. In your Properties window, let's change the return type of the query to only return a single value. In the Properties window, select the Execute mode, change this to be scalar. Now, go back to your method, right-click on it, and preview data. We'll use 749 as our product ID. Select Preview, and as you can see, for that product, the color is red. Our method works. Press the Close button. Save all your files by hitting Ctrl-Shift-S. We need just one more data set to populate our subcategory dropdown. When the user clicks on a subcategory, we'll populate the product table. Let's right-click on our project, select Add New Item, select Data Set, and in this case, we'll call it Subcategory. Press Add. Store it in the app code directory by pressing Yes. We'll be using the same connection. Press Next. We'll also be using SQL statements, so press Next again. Let's use the Query Builder by clicking on the Query Builder option and select the Product Subcategory table. Press Add. Close the Add Table dialog. In the product subcategories, we like to select Product Subcategory ID, Product Category ID, and Name. Press OK. Press the Next button. And in this case, we only need the Get Data, so let's get rid of the fill. And for the Get Data, let's call it Get Subcategories. We're not going to send updates or deletes, so let's uncheck Create Methods. Press Next and Finish. Save all your changes by pressing Ctrl-Shift-S.